We've got a lot more to go over on this historic Inauguration Day.
Joining us now, Suzanne Chad, Associate Professor of Political Science from North Central College. Thanks for joining us, Suzanne.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are you feeling today? We have talked about the first woman to become vice president, the first woman of color to be vice president. Well, it has happened.
It has happened. It's been a beautiful day for myself and for my daughters and for women in communities of color around the country. I hope people from all around the world, seeing how the United States has sort of caught up to other parts of the world. What I think I was most moved by today was looking at people, looking at a government who want it to look like us, want it to look like the people of the country. And so from the performances to the speeches to foregrounding racial justice in the inauguration speech, and to watch Kamala Harris take that oath and be the first one to do it, I get chills thinking about it now. It's been a really beautiful day.
You know, we talked with Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky earlier this evening. She talked about a soothing feeling having, witnessed the inauguration and, the relief that a lot of Americans are feeling. But, on the other side of the aisle, there's millions of Americans who feel, we're moving backward now because of this change in administration. So unity is a big message. How do you think, this period will be as we try to achieve that kind of unity to propel the country forward?
Yeah. Absolutely. And this is what we knew Joe Biden was going to foreground in and make it the theme of his address was about unity. He has said it over and over again. It was a hopeful message today. And I think what we've seen already, yes, he signed a slew of executive orders, as was brought up earlier on the broadcast. But one thing that Jen Psaki said at the press conference is that the piece of legislation is coming already, the immigration piece of legislation. So that's a large piece of legislation, a large policy that's been a sticking point. And rather than doing unilaterally, President Biden is sending it to Congress, meeting with McConnell, meeting with Schumer and Pelosi and with McCarthy to say, all right, we have these relationships. Yes, the country is divided, but we need to show them that we can work together to bring everyone on board to get out of these crises that we have been sitting in for such a long time.
Yeah, as you said, unity was the theme, but there is a lot of divisiveness, especially within the Republican Party. How do they mend what has gone on?
Yeah. Honestly, I think today was a good start to see Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell both speaking with President Biden. The fact that they attended mass with him this morning, as opposed to going to former President Trump's going away event, that really matters to show the visual of, okay, we are going to have to be in it. If Republicans want to get anything that they have on their agenda done, then they're going to have to give a little and hope that the Democrats give a little. Those messages, those signals from Republican leadership is critical right now.
One final question here, Suzanne. When you think about all of the legacy items that President Trump rallied around during his time in office, whether it's immigration, border wall, climate change, and the environment, new President Biden is sort of undoing all of that. So when you look back, what do you think Trump's legacy beyond the division is going to be?
It's a great question. Right now, I think it's really hard to say, given what you just said. President Biden is going to, as you said, roll back a lot of what President Trump attempted to do, although really was not able to complete it. And honestly, I would say right now that former President Trump's legacy rests really in the last few weeks and months and how he handled the end of his presidency, not only because President Biden is going to take the country in a different direction, but because a lot of what President Trump promised was never delivered. So it's going to take a little while in the history books to see how President Trump is remembered. But right now, President Biden is looking to move the country in a different direction, and we'll see how quickly or how slowly that might take.
All right, Professor Suzanne Chad at North Central College. Always great to chat with you. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you both. Take good care.
Be safe. Be well.
Be well.
Well, still to come.